In version 3.3, or more specifically in Archon Quest, in version of Genesis, Scaramouche yet once again shared to us a very unique statement, or rather an important one, beside the false sky statement he said in version 1.1. This time, he got that info from Piero, the leader of the Fatui organization itself. Of course, still under Saritsa. Scaramouche said these three statements.
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world. Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning. The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your brother for a time.
So, from those three statements, something unique we can find, and they are about the Jester, Conria, and the summoning. With the all information that we currently have, or rather information that I know, what do we get from those statements? Is this a new revelation? What is even the summoning? Is Conria responsible for the summoning, or what? Well, we will try to uncover those questions in this video, so stay with me till the end. Without further ado, let's get started. First and foremost, for the sake of this video, let's say if those three statements are indeed pure statement from Piero, and not from Scaramouche's perspective or his conclusion. And then, those statements can be trusted. It is important for our ground here in this video. Without any solid reference or ground, we cannot go anywhere. So, if we all agree with that, then we can continue now. Starting with the first statement, that is,
the reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world.
In that statement, there are two separate important sentences. It might have something to do with Conria, and apparently Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world. So based on that, I can find three raw ideas. Number one, Conria did something to the other sibling that made her or him get recorded in Irminsul. And number two, Conria is the other sibling's first place to visit. This number two also implies another thing, like, what does it mean by first destination? Does it mean they fall in Conria in the first place, or rather fall in another place, then decide to go to Conria? Well, let me explain these things. Please pay attention here, because if you don't, you will get lost. Let's say we agree that the twins journey together, not in separate ways, like Lumin goes first, then later Aether follows. No, not like that. They both indeed travel together. Then there are three scenarios follow here. A. The twins travel together and both of them fall in the same place. B. The twins travel together and both of them fall in different places. For example, Lumin in place A and Aether in place B. C. The twins travel together, but our traveler falls in place A and the other sibling falls in Conria. If we follow scenario A, then either the twins fall in place A, then the other sibling wake up first, after that goes to Conria, or the twins fall in Conria, then our siblings wake up first. Whatever the option is, the other sibling will leave the traveler alone in her or his sleep slumber. The difference are if they fall in Conria, then there is probably someone or something that protects or finds the sleeping traveler, because the siblings leave him or her alone. And if they don't, then probably the sleeping traveler is hiding somewhere in that place. If we follow scenario B, then the traveler falls in place A, still sleep, and the other sibling falls in place B, but already wake up first. Then either the sibling goes to Conria immediately, or goes to find the traveler, but instead the other sibling find a new place, known as Conria. If we follow scenario C, then the traveler falls in place A, still sleeps, and the other sibling is already in Conria. As you can see, the details make number 2 look so complicated with those three possibilities. So, for the sake of this video, I will choose the idea for number 2 that the twins fall in near Conria, then the other sibling wake up first and immediately goes to Conria and leaves the sleeping traveler alone. And for number 3, if we combine those two separate sentences, then we will get the impression that the reason why the other sibling get recorded in Irminsul is because she or he arrives in Conria in the first place, so it automatically gets recorded. Now we can go to the second statement. It said,
Plus, He only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
There are three essential keywords here: this world, the heavens, and the summoning. The statement "this word" in my opinion is kinda ambiguous. What does it mean by this word? Does it mean Teyvat, or Khaenri'ah, or even another place? But if we follow up with our first statement in the previous section, then this word means the world of Genshin, specifically Khaenri'ah, first destination. How about the heavens? The term the heavens here feels like not referring to Celestia, but rather another entity beyond them. You might say, oh, this could be referring to Primordial One, or Its Sage, or even Ishtaroth. But here's the thing, based on the book Before Sun and the Moon, plus Flower of Paradise Lost artifact, they both indicate if Primordial One wins against the second who came, which means the current ruler is still Primordial One or Its Sage that changed their mind and personality after that war. Then the destruction of Khaenri'ah is also part of Celestia action, Primordial One or Its Sage. Even Ishtaroth with our current knowledge only has the power that relates to time, not relate to granting wishing or summoning. So it's less likely Celestia or Ishtaroth are referred to the heavens here. So who is the heaven? Well, since Gnosticism heavily influenced Genshin Impact lore, especially their ranking up deities like Archons for example, then most likely the heavens here is referring to the actual god, Monad, and at the same time make Celestia as the fake god. But even though I still don't wanna use Monad as the heaven here, because with our current library, Monad or the names related to it never get mentioned or indicated in the game. Instead, I will use the term the entity, referring to entity beyond Celestia and that grants the summoning. And now about the summoning. When we hear the word summoning, most of us as Genshin players would immediately imagine wishing animation, right? But after searching on the internet, summoning in Fantasy World has two versions. One that appears from the ground and another that falls from the sky. If you are familiar with anime isekai or fantasy world in general, then you probably understand what I mean. Uniquely enough, in Genshin Impact, this summoning refers to the one that falls from the sky, aka wishing. Wishing in summoning context means someone or group of people make some kind of ritual, then pray to the god or other entity, and that god or entity answers their prayer by sending them something from the sky. That definition can be used in Genshin Impact because wishing in Genshin relates to these 5 items: Primogem, Icon Fate, Intertwined Fate, Masterless Star Glitter, and Masterless Stardust, which we can collect and be considered as a form of ritual. Regardless of whether the items are canon in game lore or not, there is a high chance that summoning or wishing requires some sort of item to be prepared or collected. For example, like blood requirement in most stories in our media. So whoever does the wishing, they need to prepare some requirements for sure, either by using bloods, rare items, or anything that can be sacrificed or offered. Besides that, if you pay attention closely to wishing animation in-game, we can find several interesting details, such as the items come from beyond the clouds or outside the firmament. Wishing animation also remind me of the first cutscene we get in the first minute of the game. In that cutscene, there are 2 golden shining items or stars falling from the sky. I guess whoever is wishing there, they get double 5-star in one go. How lucky they are. And lastly, if you pause the wishing animation, you can see that the star that's falling is actually stone. Uniquely enough, that stone looks so similar to this and this. Is it a coincidence? So back to our discussion, then what do we get in this second statement? There are 4 ideas. They are: number 1, the other sibling came to Khaenri'ah because of the summoning. Number 2, summoning is wishing, where people pray to the heavens and are given items to fall from the sky. Number 3, the heavens are referring to the entity beyond Celestia. And number 4, to wish, people need to fill up some requirements. Lastly, we can go to the third statement. It said,
The Jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Khaenri'ah, and lived with your brother for a time.
Based on that statement, we can find 2 interesting info. Thus are, the Jester or Pierro was a royal mage in Khaenri'ah and he lived with the other sibling for a time. I want to emphasize the word royal mage there because mage, also known as magician, wizard or witch are people who focus and master in magic, especially in the fantasy world. And in Genshin Impact, magic actually exists. Magic in this context is a source of power outside the 7-element vision system. The famous examples are Mona and La Signora, the Crimson Witch of Flame. Mona even hints in her character story if her hydromancy and hydro ability can be used without visions. And La Signora, well, she is a witch. She can use pyro ability without using vision. Besides those two, there are also adepti like Xiao, Yokai, etc. etc. So yeah, magic indeed exists. Then what is the connection between Pierrot, mage, magic, and Khaenri'ah? If mage means magic user, then Pierrot as royal mage is also a magic user. And if Pierrot is a magic user and live in Khaenri'ah as a royal member, then Khaenri'ah most likely already had a pretty good knowledge about magic. I don't know if this magic is the art of Khaenri'ah itself or just part of it. So basically, beside their advanced robot technology, Khaenri'ah is also familiar with magic. To add it more, if we see the current member of the Abyss Order, which many, if not all of its members, were originally from Khaenri'ah, they use magic. For example, Abyss Mage and the Abyss Lectors. They both often use spelling, rune, and casting, which relate to magic. If that is the case, then Khaenri'ah probably knows about summon, because summon is also part of the magic ability. Next, about the second info. It tells us that Pierrot lived with the other sibling for a time. It means that Pierrot and the other sibling know each other. Now, it is pretty fake whether Pierrot is the first person the other sibling met or lived with, or instead Dainsleif. It is because so far we know that Dainsleif and the other sibling also have ever lived and traveled together. Who is the first between these two, Pierrot or Dainsleif? What do you think? Okay, what do we get in this third statement? Well, overall, we get 3 ideas. Number 1, Pierrot is a magic user and was a royal member of Khaenri'ah, which means Khaenri'ah has knowledge about magic. Number 2, summon is part of magic ability. Then because Khaenri'ah knows about magic, they probably also know about summoning. Number 3, Pierrot and the other sibling know each other. From those analysis and ideas in 3 statements, then what do we get now in the big picture? Well, let's list again what do we know so far. There are 10 of them. You can pause here and see and read by yourself here. Based on those 10 ideas we have already established, now we can make a raw conclusion. That is, Khaenri'ah is the one who is responsible for summoning the twins by using a wishing method, and at the same time, there are also the one who make the other sibling get recorded in Irminsul. If you are still confused, then let me explain. The order goes like this. Pierrot was a royal mage in Khaenri'ah. It indicates that Khaenri'ah has a group of mage. Since mage has a heavy association with magic, then Khaenri'ah should also have a decent amount of knowledge about magic. One of the magic abilities is summoning. Summoning in Genshin is in the form of wishing. So, Khaenri'ah with enough knowledge about magic, they can do summoning. More specifically, do wishing. To do wishing, Khaenri'ah with their group of mage prepare some requirements and then pray to the heavens or entity beyond Celestia. This is probably one of their huge project and involve a massive amount of people. And the result is that the stars fall from the sky. These stars are the twins. Unfortunately, only the other sibling that wake up and arrive first in Khaenri'ah. Khaenri'ah, then for unknown reason and how, they make the other sibling get recorded in Irminsul. Since Pierrot was also part of the Royal Mage before, he probably got involved in this wishing or summoning project, which makes him close enough with the other sibling at that time. It makes sense if they both know each other. So yeah, there you go, the conclusion and the explanation. If we keep following that conclusion, then it means what Khaenri'ah did was basically send message help to the entity beyond Celestia, aka SOS message. And it also makes the twins, including the traveler, arrive in Teyvat not because they accidentally fall, but rather they came to answer the summoning. With the secret that traveler keep from us, it makes their motivation and reason to go back to their homeland more questionable. I think that is for the video now. You might also have several questions left like, if that conclusion is true, then why Dainsleif never mentioned it? Or why even the traveler try hard enough to find the sibling and leave Teyvat? Is it that Khaenri'ah doesn't believe in any gods, etc, etc? Well, I am aware if my theory or conclusion is not that perfect, because I probably miss or forget several pieces of information in the game. So, if you have other ideas, an interesting thought, or even information that I forget to mention or consider, feel free to share in the comment section down below. Also, let's keep this theory as a theory, and not a canon or fact. We will meet again in the last part of video series. In that last part, we will discuss the mysterious voice in the Archon quest. Is it Ishtar-Roth or totally different entity? If you don't want to miss that, then please consider subscribing to this channel and turn on your notification bell. Hello Zen here, and see you next time.